Hey, dear Tyler. Good morning, and how are you doing? I hope you're good. I hope you're fine. I hope everything is um, going on well. Yeah, so it's been it's been a very good end of year so far, right? My brother's introduction went really, really well. Like there was a little bit of tension. You get even from me, like my own side. I was like, hell, like it was just a little bit. I think a lot, right? So I'm a very deep thinker, and because of that, I was very particular about some of the things that were happening, and it was just like very surreal. It's like, hey, my brother is really, really taking that step, and I kind of like pictured myself in it. But when the time comes, I'm sure I'll do it. I took out time to rest, and yeah, I'm actually starting my retreat today, but then I decided to, keep to my promise to be able to put up episodes for each. I mean, for the coming days, right? Talking about the things that I learned in 2022, and it's been quite humbling. The responses that I've gotten so far, a lot of people are like, they're really learning from it, and it means a lot to a lot of people. For some other people, it's like they've never really made that conscious effort to reevaluate or evaluate a year or anything that they do. So it's really, really nice to know that this is helping. So we've treated 10 things so far, and for now we still have 10 more, but I'm almost certain that I will add, because probably during my retreat I'll figure out some more things, right? But just a recap on the first 10 that we've learned so far. Number 1, God is good. Number 2, plans work. Number 3, friends are valuable. Number 4, it's only impossible if you don't try. Number 5, don't worry about the past. Number 6, it's not as bad as you imagine. Number 7, I'm not perfect. Number 8, I can't save everyone. Number 9, it's easy to become the monster you preach against. And then number 10, everyone deserves a second chance. In order not to, cause repetition, if you've not gone through these 10, you could just, check out the previous 2 episodes, right? I speak extensively about them. So we're going into the next 5, right? So this would be number 11 now. Don't inherit enemies. Don't inherit enemies. I had to learn this in a very, very painful way. There's this adage that says the enemy of my enemy is my friend. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And usually it used to be like, if you hate somebody that I hate, then I think we can work together. Or if you dislike somebody, or if you're against somebody that I'm against, then we'll probably work together and all. And I think I understand why that statement comes, but it's something that we need to be careful about. But this particular thing that I'm talking about now is, do not inherit enemies. It's a very dicey thought. It's a very dicey subject, because most enemies that are inherited because of loyalty to another. Right? Loyalty to another. Somebody may not have done something to you, but because they did something to somebody that you respect or you love or you honor, then you now make them your enemy. Do you understand? It's really, really wrong. It's really, really wrong. Number 1, I don't think it's even fair for the person involved. The person really didn't offend you. The person didn't attack you. The person had a misunderstanding, or there was some form of contention you get with another individual. Now that's their concern. It's something that you need to learn. Let me not use the word you. It's something that we need to learn, to understand that people have their lives, and their lives come with peculiarities. And in those peculiarities, they have certain events that occur that are you're absolutely exclusive to, right? You're not included in it. You're not included in the event. You're not included in the happenings. And so the worst mistake you would do is to inherit an enemy. Because that very person that you may dislike may be the key to something that you need. Maybe the key to something that you need. I know how many times I have been stopped on my tracks, right, to help people or to reach out to people or to do something for someone. But just to say a simple hello because of maybe somebody else bad-mouthing them, do you understand? So it's like, this person did this to me, this person did this to me. And then because I'm so loyal to this other person, I'm like, nah, you did this to somebody I respect. And no, people really deserve that chance. One of the major things that I usually say in the hotel is that give people the room to make a mistake. Give people the room to disappoint you. Give people the room to actually prove that they are that which they say they are. Because many times you would find out that most stories are one-sided until you actually get to hear from the two parties. You'll somehow find the intersection where both parties are honest, and you can really, really pick out who did wrong and where the wrong really came from. Do you understand? But do not inherit enemies. So you may be my friend, right? But then I may have somebody that I'm not in speaking terms with for whatever reason. I would never ever badmouth the person to you. No. I would allow you to build a relationship with the person. Probably you'll get it right and you help me to notice or see things in a different light. But the worst that I can do as an individual is to cause you to hate somebody for absolutely no reason. And then don't, because of, honor and loyalty, just move around and start inheriting enemies. Nah, it's not helpful. It's something that I had to learn. At the beginning of the year, I had to lay down every single individual that hurt me, right? And probably every individual that hurt somebody that I loved. And I said that, okay, your contention was with the other person, not me. So I'm going to give you a fair chance. And I'm going to approach you outside of the fact that you offended somebody that I love. Do you understand? So I'm not inheriting enemies. It may be a dicey issue. It may not be something that everybody agrees with. But for me, as an individual, that's one of the things that I learned. Number 2, love what you do. Don't do it for love. Oh, I've had to learn this in a hard way. Love what you do. One of the things I run with, or I've been running with of late, is that every action that I take now is because I want to do it and I find pleasure in doing it, not because I want people to like me for it. This has some certain level of similarity with the next thing that I'm about to say, but I just wanted to make emphasis on the fact that I've learned the importance of passion, real passion, right? That my actions and my activities, my drive should come from the fact that I love what I'm doing. I found purpose in what I'm doing. I see the benefit of what I am doing, right? I see the purpose of what I am doing, right? And I enjoy it. Right? Not that in some way I will gain some level of acceptance and acknowledgement or something. Nah. I really, really had to get to the point where I had to be more driven by my love for a thing. So I find myself spending a whole lot of time really, praying and talking to God and asking God for renewed passion. Because I think one of the things that gives us enough energy to move on, irrespective of the hardship, is passion. If we truly and sincerely have passion for the things that we do, if we are driven by love, if our motives are pure, then absolutely nothing would ever deter us from the goal. Absolutely nothing. I would say it categorically. Absolutely nothing will be able to deter us, right? So it's not about being accepted. It's not about gaining views or listen. So let me use something like Dear Tyler, for instance, right? At some point, I really wanted more views. I wanted to be, the top podcast in Nigeria. I wanted to, hit all of those targets. I wanted to, people to be talking about Dear Tyler, let it be trending and everything. And I spent a lot of time, always going through how many listens I had in a month, those that listened, those that responded, because somehow it gives those numbers, right? They give you a certain view of acceptance. It may not be the purest view, it may not be the clearest view, but then it gives you a certain view of acceptance. And whenever I saw only 4 people listen in a day, it just, it killed me and everything. And so I had to ask myself, I was like, okay, hey, Binga, why did you start Dear Tyler in the first place, right? There was definitely a purpose behind it. And if 4 people are listening, it means 4 people are blessed. And the goal was to bless lives, right? That was the major goal, right? And so it was more about, finding pleasure in the fact that the goal was achieved rather than just having, numbers. Yeah, you could have all the numbers in the world and they're not really doing anything. Somebody could just literally put Dear Tyler on play and maybe listen to it for 2-3 minutes and it will register as a listen. Do you understand? And I may never get to really know those who listen to the end, but I am, rediscovering the passion for just sharing, the passion for talking, the passion for communicating God's heart to people, right? And trust me, ever since my mindset moved towards that, I have found a lot more energy to do things with Dear Tyler. It makes it a lot better for me. So I'm not struggling as usual, right? So love what you do. Don't do it for love, just to love it, right? Ask God for a deeper passion. Ask God for a real fire inside of you, right? Now, the next one, which is number 13, which is related to the one that we just spoke about, is it's okay to not be celebrated. Oh, you've got to be absolutely okay with not being celebrated. By reason of what you do, you may be in a position that you're not particularly seen, and you are not, and because you are hidden, right? People don't get to see the sacrifice, the commitment, or the passion that you have given towards a certain thing. Nobody really has, and it can be really, really painful. I won't lie to you. Now, it can be really painful, Tyler, because there is this deep desire in each and every one of us to be acknowledged, to be celebrated, and to be valued. And we don't want it to just be, oh, this person has good thoughts about me. No, we want it to be, to an extent, verbal, or at least public in the sense that you get to know, and at least some other people can attest to the fact that, okay, no, you're doing well, or something like that. But in this journey of life, be okay. You have to learn to be okay with not being celebrated. You have to be okay with not being celebrated. Because like I said, you may find yourself in a position that you're hidden, and your contributions may be immense, may be a lot, right? Immense contributions. But because of your hidden state or hidden position, people don't know. Just be satisfied knowing that you've done well and that you've done your best. Knowing that you've done well and knowing that you've done your best. Be satisfied to the core with that. And just like, like I've said a lot of times, and even in scripture it says, and David encouraged himself in the Lord, sometimes pat yourself in the back and be like, yeah, man, I really did well. You're doing well. You're really doing well. Right? It's okay to not be celebrated. At least learn to appreciate yourself. Learn to appreciate the fact that, okay, you've done something and that you've achieved something, you too, you've come a mighty, 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 mighty long way. Right? Acknowledge it. Just acknowledge it. It's very, very important. Acknowledge that. It would be really helpful. I don't know how best to emphasize this, right? It's okay to not be celebrated. And so neither is it important for you to be looking for the affirmations of people, right? So people to affirm you, to people to attest to your contributions. Now, if it's good, then let it be done. Right? If it's good, then let it be done, irrespective of who acknowledges it, right? Be satisfied in doing good. Just be satisfied in doing good. And in that good, right, know that you gave your best, right? Make sure that your conscience is clear that you gave your best in that. Very, very important. Number 14, know your kryptonite. Know your kryptonite. Now, for those of us that don't know what kryptonite is, it's an element. It's actually, I think it's a real element, right? A real scientific chemical element. But for those of us that are into comic books and all of these superheroes, right? It's the weakness of Superman, right? Basically his only weakness. And whenever he's near kryptonite, he loses his abilities, he becomes weak and all. And every other thing that made him super gets swallowed by that. Gets swallowed because of that particular element. It could be in the smallest of doses, right? But its presence is like yeast. Just give it a little time and it will spread, right? You could see that the tiniest of things can cripple the greatest of men. Know your kryptonite. This year I learned that, boy, do I have weaknesses. And there are things that really, really eat me up. There are things that are like a major struggle. It's easy to hide it under some certain level of spirituality. Being in a ministry where God does a lot of wonders, right? Being in a ministry where people honor you, people love you, people celebrate you, right? It's very easy to feel like I can continue in this light, that I can continue in this way, and it's not a big deal. As long as people don't see it, it doesn't matter. As long as people don't know it, it doesn't matter, right? It's just a matter of time. Like I said, it's like yeast. It takes time, but one day it would, leave in the whole lump. And then you'll now literally be exposed. Know your kryptonite, know your weaknesses, know where your tendencies are. Be conscious of it and then address it. Address it. Don't just stay in the point of knowledge, oh, I know this is a weakness, I know this is a struggle or something. Nah. Be intentional about dealing with it. Be intentional about dealing with it. It could be procrastination. It could be some form of laziness. It could be a level of carelessness. It could be waywardness. It could be, uncultured talk, whatever it is, right? These things have a way of killing the good side of you. Know your kryptonite. Know it. Discover it and then deal with it, right? Discover it and then deal with it. And then the final one, which is number 15, but 5, the fifth one for today is I am special. Oh, so I've rung this to us a lot of times, Tyler. I'll be like, always remember who you are. It's easier to address people than to address yourself. Maybe it's another lesson I learned. I may not, put it as part of it, but it's easier to address people than it is to address yourself. Like way, way, way easier to address people than to address yourself. Because you could be facing the very same struggle that you're speaking on, but because you've got so much knowledge about it, there's just a way that you just, you could just talk about it. And especially if you're gifted with eloquence or some form of charisma, you've got very, very good use of words, you've mastered the art of English, you've mastered the art of communicating. It's very easy to, jumble up the words, coin up great phrases, come up with such articulate mannerisms, and people would just be like, oh my God, this is so great, this is so amazing. And then at the end of the day, you're also the one struggling with it. This year I came to realize that, no, Binga, you're really special. That there are things about you that are just peculiar to you. That there really isn't anybody that exhibits this level of personality that you do. No. That's how unique you are, Binga. And that's how special you are. This year, a lot of people reached out to me and they were very, very verbal about my position in their lives and what I've done. A lot of people, especially through Dear Tyler, people telling me that, oh, this episode helped me through this helped me through that. And because there are a lot of times I've lived under the shadow of quite a lot of people, and I felt like if I could be better than them, it would validate my worth. And I'm beginning to learn that what makes them so great is their value for themselves and their uniqueness. And I had to tell myself, like, hey, Bingai, nah, you are special. And I think that that's a major lesson that we should take home for the year. Tyler, you are special. Never, ever forget it. Irrespective of the things that you go through, irrespective of where you are at the moment, irrespective of the present day struggle, understand and believe that you are special. I know that sometimes you have to be the one to tell yourself that, no, I'm special. Man, I am valuable. There's something inside of me, right? So, just a recap of the 5. Number 1, don't inherit enemies. If somebody hasn't directly hurt you, somebody hasn't directly done something to you, there's no need putting them in your blacklist. Learn to give people that chance. Love what you do. Don't do it for love. Be driven by love and passion. And don't be driven for love and for passion. Because trust me, you will probably get highly disappointed, right? Number 3, it's okay to not be celebrated. Be fine with it. Just be okay by doing good. You've done good, and be okay with it. Then know your kryptonite. Right? Know your kryptonite. Understand your weaknesses. Don't discard them. Don't neglect them. Don't ignore them. Acknowledge that they are weaknesses, right? And then work towards addressing them. And then finally, remember that I am special. You are special. You're worth something, right? So I really do hope that these 5 points really blessed you. I know that I'm going on retreat and everything, but hopefully by Friday you would get the other 5, and let's see how it goes. If there are other lessons that I learned this year, I'll definitely add them up, right? But I would also love to hear your own lessons, right? The things that you've learned from the year 2022. I think it'd be really, really nice. It'd be really, really cool, right? So please and please do share, and I'd love to hear, right? So you could message, Instagram, anywhere, Facebook, we're there, Dear Tyler, or even via email, deartyler@gmail.com. If you're part of the community, you could share it there. It'd be super, super fun, right? So thank you, Tyler. Remember that I love you, I believe in you, and I'm always rooting for you. Bye.